Well, hi there, Fielding ODL learners. Welcome to Leadership Theory and Practice. I'm Dr. Susan Cannon, the instructor for this course, and I'm very happy that you're going to be joining me this semester. I love teaching this course, and I thought you might like to meet me by video and get, a sense of what the course is about and how you can finish it with success and satisfaction, which is my goal. I'm going to be connecting with you from here, my office in Rockwall, Texas, which is near Dallas. I've lived probably the last 35 years or so, mostly on the West Coast, Seattle and San Francisco Bay Area. And I've recently moved back to the Dallas area where I grew up to marry my high school sweetheart. So let me tell you a little bit about what you're getting into with this course. So the organizing framework for the course is not just leadership theory, but it's theory of growth and development for both leaders and organizations because they follow a similar pattern. And this is quite a complex body of work, but we're going to break it down into bite-sized pieces so that you can absorb it over time over these 12 weeks. And I promise you that this framework will be very helpful for you in your professional practice or at your job and even in your own life. It doesn't matter how large or small the organization is that you work for, consult for, even if you're just in a practice for yourself, even if you're not working at all. You will gain great insight into how human beings work and think and what motivates them and how you can help them be better. So this is a very interactive course, and the content can be quite transformative. So even though we're online, the online classroom, I think you'll be surprised to find, can support very powerful, very deep discussions. And many students have remarked to me that this was something very surprising to them, very delightful to them, that they could have that kind of juicy experience in an online course. So this first week is mainly about just getting you oriented and comfortable. In terms of assignments for this week, we're going to do a little bit of a warm-up, just some reading, kind of a soft launch before we dive into the regular curriculum. So now, based on years of experience with many different kinds of students from all walks of life, from all around the globe, I'd like to share with you my 7 tips for success in this course. So tip number 1 is, don't let the unknown or the different throw you. This course is probably designed a little differently than many you might have taken in the past. So, just relax. You can do this. You're going to be internalizing a powerful model for assessing individual leaders and organizations, and it really works, but it takes time to learn it, and I understand that. An aspect of the model is that leaders and systems grow through very distinct stages of development, and each stage is almost like a little world unto itself. It has its a particular type of leader. The organizational system has its own beliefs and values and preferences and ways of seeing the world, types of acceptable behaviors. And each stage also has particular leadership theories that emerge out of that worldview. So that's why there are so many competing theories of leadership. So this is going to give you a framework for seeing which theory is appropriate for which leader, which organization, and why, which is going to be very helpful for you in your practice. So for weeks 2 through 7, we're going to explore a new stage of development every week. So every week's going to feel very different from the last because the curriculum has been designed to give you kind of an experiential taste of that stage. So don't let that throw you. Just go with the experience. For example, one week we might have an open book test on facts because that's what's important to leaders at that stage of development. In another week, we might be engaging in deep conversation, exploring meaning and emotions because that's what's important at that stage. So you just flow with it. So tip 2 is stay up with the coursework right from the beginning. So be very disciplined and systematic. We go through a lot of material each week, and each week's learning builds on what came before. You don't have to get everything perfectly. Don't feel like you have to, but do your best to get through it. You're going to have readings and audios to absorb, written assignments, tests, projects. If you have to go out of town or you have a family emergency, just work with me so I can help you strategize how to stay current. I know unexpected things happen in life. I've had my own emergencies while teaching this course, and I've just figured out how to adapt. So don't give up. We can always work it out. So tip 3 is don't get discouraged. I mean, this is graduate school, and our course material, it's challenging and complex, and it requires you to be self-initiating, much more so than an undergrad. In fact, one of the first readings you're going to get is called The 9 Levels of Increasing Embrace. It's one of the most complex readings of the course, so don't let that upset you. You almost surely won't get it all at once. You're not expected to. I'll be referring to that paper all throughout the course, and as we move from week to week, it's going to make more sense. Just do your best. The learning materials are a mixture, as I said, of audios and readings, presentation slides. What I'm trying to do is meet different learning styles. So I used to co-teach this class with Dr. Terry O'Fallon, and she's a pioneer in the field of human and organizational development. So you'll have an opportunity to hear Dr. O'Fallon speak in a series of audios. We'll also have optional Zoom meetings, maybe 3 times. We can have more if you want. And that's not for teaching, but it's really about having space for us to talk things over. And you ask questions and we answer, or the class answer, and we can just engage that way. Stay connected. Tip 4 is participate. So a part of your grade is going to be based on participation. So in an online classroom, as you can imagine, it's really important for you to make posts, which means you put your written assignments up in the forum every week, and then you don't just leave it there and run away. You respond to what other students have written. Now, in a really big class, I recommend that you respond to at least 3 people. In a small class, you can respond to everybody. But in many cases, we'll have very specific discussion questions and reflections for you to respond to about the course material. And this is a really important part of your learning because it helps you engage directly with the material, helps you grapple with it, integrate it. That's really the best way of learning. You're not going to learn this by sort of rote memorization. You're going to learn by grappling. You can also, you also get to ask questions and learn from the other students. I mean, every year, students tell me that this was one of the most valuable and unexpected aspects of the learning was, getting in there and grappling with the other students in the course discussions. So tip 5, don't miss the easy points. Just so you know, I carefully track the assignment completions and your participation in the discussions. You'll see that they are worth a certain amount of points, typically a point a week. And there's only 15 points total in the whole term. And I've seen students, get careless, such that they could have made a letter grade better if they just made one basic, fairly easy posting, that was worth half a point or a point. Even if you're struggling with the material, if you really apply yourself and you participate, you will learn and you'll have a good chance of doing really well because I'm in your corner. So tip 6 is speak up. At the beginning of the course, you may feel some vulnerability, even outright fear about making your ideas public. You may have some concerns about being judged, about, wow, everybody else is smarter than me, I'm less capable, I might say something wrong. And then, you start telling yourself that, and resistance starts to rise where you procrastinate, you're not getting online. Well, that doesn't help. Just know that these feelings are normal, that it's not true, everybody isn't smarter than you and you're not doing anything wrong. And if you're courageous and just put it out there, these feelings will likely pass. We're all learning together, and, you get past that and pretty soon you get into a flow and it's fun. So tip 7 is get tight with your team. We're going to be working, we're going to separate into teams and groups ultimately for the final group project. And it's good to get a solid foundation going with your teammates as soon as possible. Your group project's worth 20% of your grade. And we start on it almost right away, like in week 2. So you have long lead time. And what you're actually going to be doing is you're going to be creating a teaching presentation to teach this material we learned in this class, in a certain way, not the whole class, but an element of it, to other students. Because when you teach something, you have to dig a lot deeper and learn it better than when you're just taking the class. So that's the whole idea behind that. A group cohesion plays a big factor. So you may have to coordinate across time zones. And somehow people always manage to work it out. And when you're putting the project together, it can be really tempting to just sort of divide everything up and everybody goes off in their own little silo and does their piece. And then in the end, you just kind of paste it together. The result of that is not nearly as successful as when their teams get together and really all look at the whole. It doesn't mean you don't divide and conquer on drafts of things, but it really comes out better if everybody takes responsibility for the whole and makes sure that the whole thing is coherent. And you get a kind of a synergy that adds something to the project when you do that. And when you get that synergy, that flow going in the group, it makes it really fun. And people have had great experiences with that in this class. Okay, so that gives you some pointers on successfully navigating this course on leadership theory and practice. And one of the good things about an online course is that I'm only a post or an email or a text away from answering any question you have. We can also talk by phone. You can make an appointment with me. So don't hesitate to contact me. I'll put contact information in our virtual classroom. So please let me know if you need help and want to talk. Okay, I think that's it. So I will see you online. All right, bye-bye.